Hello and welcome back to Shrewsbury Soccer Training's YouTube channel. So today we're going to be talking about my formation, which is like a Diamondback 4-2. Yeah, we're going to kind of talk about how to manage it, what it's like on the attack, what it's like on the offensive, and a few little tidbits as well. So this is kind of be like a part one, because if I were to do a full in-depth analysis of my formation, it would take a very long time. So I'm going to break it up into parts. If you have any questions, of course, put them in the comments down below and I'll answer them in the next video. And stick around for the end of the video to learn about the giveaways I have going on, because there's some cool things that we'll be giving away, like a GMR kit, a soccer ball, and maybe some other good goodies. So stay around for the end of the video to see how you can win. So some of you have asked me, can I explain my formation better? And to tell you the truth, that's the best thing about YouTube, is that I can actually go into more depth into how this formation works. So this is the goal for my side, offside, but whatever. We utilize a sweeper, 2 fullbacks, stopper, 2 center mids, outside mids, and 2 strikers. Now, the way this kind of spaces out, this is the rubric for it, right? This is the way we set up. Not many people run the Diamondback anymore, and normally you'll see people running some of these crazy like 4-3-2-1 or 4-3-4-4, these crazy numbers going up the field. Honestly, I don't do that. I assign numbers, we talk about the way the formation is supposed to look, and we go from there. I think it's just too much work calling it the 4-3-2-4 whatever, so on and so forth. So the way this works is, on the attack, when we're moving downfield, the way this is going to work, you'll have your 2 center mids going in, outside mids are swinging to the sides, depending, of course, the strikers are going to goal. Now, you're probably wondering, what does the stopper do? Well, let's say, we've gone to the attack, and these guys are down in the box. So we've got the top, the stopper moves up and covers the top of the 18, and around the half circle. That's about where he's going to be. Now, the reason why he's there is for 2 reasons. One, he needs to be able to be a kind of a cam position, right? So this person kind of plays both the cam and the CDM position until the center mids can drop back and support. Because what's going to happen is, let's say we're trying to go to goal. Here's the goal, the box or whatever. And we come down here, this person gets blocked off, they go back. Now we can stay numbers up in the box by switching across to the stopper and either going into goal or switching sides. But the best part about it is I expect this position, the stopper, to be able to take long shots with power. I put my strongest shooting player in the stopper position because I need them to be able to take those sniper shots outside the 18, because whenever we come down here, sometimes since we have so much presence in the box, there's not really anybody who can sacrifice to come out. Because typically you only play 4 in the back, you don't play more. And yes, you do have the midfield, but they're not always going to be dropped. They're going to have to drop back to keep numbers up in that half. So whenever you play it down and you switch it across, more times than not, this player can take a shot. And if you're outside the 18, you need to be able to really hit a nice powered, well-placed shot. Or have the understanding that if a defender comes out to check to you, you now have options in the box, or switch it to the outside mid. Now, this formation is not simple in the least bit, because you have to be able to drop back on defense. Now, when we're playing the defensive half and we're trying to control the counter, a lot of people point out, well, if you have 3 in the back, you're not going to be able to do anything. Well, that's not entirely true. Actually, it's very untrue, to tell you the truth. It's actually pretty comical when people come up with this argument. So here's the center and the center circle, okay? And we are going to say this magnet right here is the opponent, the offensive half. What we're going to have is fullbacks are going to step to the sides of the circle. Okay, typically you're gonna have a striker, maybe two, maybe one, doesn't matter. They'll be standing where the last defender or the sweeper is. I always laugh when this happens, especially when they stand like right next to me or right next to my player, because why is this a bad thing? Well, I teach my sweeper, drop a little bit, see if they follow you. If they follow you, then just double around and go back up. And stop here, or just go back to right where you were and just stay there, because now they're behind you. You don't have to worry about them. And the reason why I play 3 in the back is now you really don't have to worry about this player, because you don't have to worry about some, you know, extra player dropping back on the far side of the field, keeping him on sides. That has driven me nuts. Every time I see that happen, it drives me nuts, because you're now making the center back have to not only manage the other team's offensive half, but manage a whole bunch of other people. If they only have 2 people they have to worry about, and they're always in front of them, and they can constantly see them, and not have to worry about looking to the sides every freaking second, you just make their job 10 times easier. Nothing is more exhausting than being put off sides thinking you have an opportunity to score. It will mentally and physically wear out the offensive half of the other team. Because even if they were to step up, let's say they realize what you're doing, right? And they follow you back to where you started. They followed you back. Let's say they followed you back, all right? You can still put them off. You always play a drop sweeper. You never leave your 3 up here. Never. In my opinion, you never do that. The reason why is because even though your sweeper's right here and he's standing right next to you, let's say the counter's coming down from the other field, all you have to do is step up, and now he's offsides again. So this gives you this much space to work with. And if it's just him, or heck, even if it's 2 of them, it's simple just to step forward and put him off. Because if you have a good lineman, he's going to be following you every step of the way. So if you're here, the lineman's right next to you. If you move up, he follows you. So it's so simple, and it's the easiest way to break the communication and make the other team start fighting, because they're going to get irritated. They're going to get frustrated because you're constantly putting them off sides. And now, even if they don't start to fight and argue, they have to worry about that the entire game, because they don't know, oh my God, am I offsides? Do I have to stand right next to this person? Well, let's say they do come up with the idea, let's just stay right next to him. You move up, he moves with you. You move back, he moves with you. Now you've literally won, because now he's not focusing on what needs to be done. He's just making sure he doesn't get stuck behind you. And the funny thing about this is, if he does that and he keeps following you, no matter what, well, on the counter, I teach my fullbacks, if the ball's coming through and you realize this is happening, you're supposed to swing in and drop. So now you easily manage them. They're not paying attention, and you can keep everything in front of you. The worst thing that can happen to a defensive half is that a ball gets played behind you. Now, this is honestly kind of all the rubric. I threw a lot of stuff at you. It's very hard because I am trying to keep this within 15 minutes. Now, how can you practice something like this? It's not easy. But the one thing that I do work with is a game called, I can't remember the name, but it's a very simple game. So you'll have a box, okay? It's a small side game, and you have to work with it basically in a very small area. So you'll have cones, you have 2 nets, and then you play. So you play probably 4v4 with offsides, or you can play like 5v5 or whatever, it doesn't matter. But the idea is you play with offsides, and you have to make sure that you're really managing it well as the coach so that they understand what it means. So you have your players, and you have their players, and you kind of just keep working at it, and you just work. And the idea is to work on teaching them how to shoot, and you make them communicate, but you also have to make sure that there's offsides, okay? So you can't just say, well, we're gonna play a small side game, no offsides. In my opinion, that's basically giving a false sense of security. Never do that, in my opinion. For sometimes it's okay, but when you're trying to teach the offsides trap, you gotta work with it. Now, the other thing that I do is I work with building from the back. So that's the other thing that you can do when you're working with 3 in the back with the outside mids falling behind. So here's your goal. Goalie gets the ball. The first thing that a lot of people do is they'll tell their fullbacks to step to the sides. Well, my fullbacks and my sweepers, I want them to stay somewhat controlled. I'll have them stay within line of the goal box. So if they stop, they're coming here, the goalie can play it, or coming here and the goalie can play it. But the other thing is the outside mids are running along this line. So you can either play to them, to the far side, to any of these sides here, going out, or you could play it even shorter inside to your fullbacks. I never, ever let my players play it to the sweeper or to the stopper. I do not come down to the center of the field when I have my goalkeeper playing the ball. It's always to the outside. Because I've seen so many passes being played, let's say here, and then one guy just comes in and scores because you've basically gifted him a free goal, and you need to avoid that. Don't give the center of the field up, because when you play to the outside, even if the other team wins it, they still have to make a full effort to play all the way back inside. When you play it down the middle, it's basically a straight line, run to the goal. So try to avoid that. That's one thing that I always tell my team is always play to the sides. I don't care which side you play it to, but just do not play it down the middle, because you never know what's behind you, and during the counter or when the goalie has the ball, where is 90% of the field controlled? In the middle, because that's where they're trying to filter it anyways, and that's where they're going to be. So it's a lot to say, it's a lot to do. The practices, it's all about communication. So playing small side games that force communication, force passes, and encourages to do the offsides trap is beneficial. And then of course your ability to manage from the sidelines. So I also go with a fast counter. So if the ball's moving down the field, I want my team to get to the center of the field as quickly as possible, so we can get so when you do this, you move your field up here and you get your team up to the center half as quickly as possible. You're closing space. So you're up here, here, and here. Now, this whole part of the field back here is not accessible technically, because they can't just run behind you. You want to make the offensive half of the other team have to run more, not less. If your defense is staying too far back, let's say your defensive line is here. Well, now you've basically given the opposition all of this to easily control and run around. You don't want this to happen. You want to take away all of this space so that if the ball does get played long, you still have your goalkeeper who can come out and get it. Or you make it to where now the opposition has to really run this entire field. You don't want them to sit back here and wait for it, because now they don't have to run. You want to make them run. And if you don't, then you're just giving them more and more opportunities to score on fresh legs. And that's not what you want. So that's kind of my formation, at least the beginning stages of it. I'll do more on it, but this is kind of a short crash course on what this formation is and kind of what it does. All right, so let's talk about those giveaways. So the first giveaway is the GMR Adidas kit. Now this kit is really cool. It basically tells you all the information that you need to know as a player. Shot power, run speed, everything. And the best part about it is that it connects to your FIFA mobile game, so that you can increase your stats and see how it would look on the field virtually. So in order to win this, you have to be one of the first 10 subscribers to my Twitch. Now you have to be a subscriber, not a follower, because I can pull the list of subscribers and it's just easier. Also, you help support the channel and do more giveaways. So if you're one of the first 10 subscribers to my Twitch, which you can find the link right here, you will be entered to win this giveaway and all future giveaways. The next one is, once we reach 100 subscribers, I will be doing a 12-hour straight long live stream on both YouTube and on Twitch. So you also help me in supporting the channel, as well as maybe we'll do a 12-hour straight live stream, which would be I may be divorced by the end, but we'll see. But anyways, if you'd like to win the GMR Adidas kit, be one of the first 10 subscribers to my Twitch channel. Once again, the link is right here and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for your support. And if you have any questions or would like to send me film for me to analyze and put on YouTube, you can send it to my Instagram, or you can ask to join the Discord and post it there. And I also have a Reddit right here. Thank you guys so much. See you in the next one.